Good afternoon. Is there ever a point in your life where you have been seriously influenced by a friend, family member, or even just society in general? You may raise up your hands if you wish, but I'm sure everyone in this room has been influenced by all three at some point. Even I have been affected countless times. Back then in middle school, I dyed my hair blue because everyone had colorful hair. My mother influenced me to have an interest in language and culture, which is now one of my college major options. What I'm saying is that we can all be swayed by our friends and families, which can obviously affect the future. However, it starts getting serious during adolescence, which is why today I'll be presenting about how can social influence, specifically peer pressure and parental influence, affect an adolescent's identity development. But first, what do the terms adolescence, identity development, and social influence mean? Adolescence is a critical period where youths encounter many highs and lows and undergo a process of transformation or identity development. Identity development is when an individual finds a unique side of themselves and is important during adolescence as it helps them develop a strong sense of self, personality, and connection to others. Positive identity development is correlated with higher self-esteem. Finally, social influence is the effort to change someone, which can be done intentionally or unintentionally, and is also important during adolescence as they're more vulnerable to what others think. Moving on to peer pressure. According to Maureen, a psychotherapist, this is the influence where people of the same social group yield. For example, it can influence the way you dress or force you to partake in dangerous activities. Younger age groups like adolescents tend to be more affected by their peers compared to older groups. Some factors include avoiding school, behavior changes, and trouble sleeping. An example of external pressure is from The Namesake, a novel by Jhumpa Lahiri, where we follow Gogo Ganguly, our protagonist and his family immigrate from India to America. Even though his American friends didn't make fun of his name, Gogo was still affected by his peers and wanted to change his name into a cooler one, causing him to struggle with his identity. According to Aspen Ridge, there are three mechanisms triggered during interactions. The first type being social enforcement, which alerts individuals that their behavior is being recognized. Some signals include acceptance, approval, and smiles. Next being modeling behavior, which individuals model after other people's actions. I can relate to this one because I like to see how people talk and dress up. And lastly, being cognitive processes, which the main idea is that there's a correlation between a developing brain and its potential of being influenced, especially when addressing risky behavior. According to Doe, a postdoctoral researcher and her team, the DACC, associated with learning activity, increases when an adolescent's opinion goes against their peers. According to Maureen, some drawbacks include depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, arguments with family, and more. But not to worry, there are also benefits as well, which include practicing socialization, modeling good behavior, and gaining new experiences. As we're now finished with peer pressure, we're diving into parental influence. What makes it different? Parental influence is the opinion or action which parents can influence their children to have. So for example, they can influence your personality and the way you see things. Balsa, a researcher and a team, mentioned that this influence provides the necessary skills for adolescents to interact with others. Those that are strongly influenced by their parents are less likely to be swayed by their peers, especially if the parenting style is authoritative. According to Correa, a researcher, this influence can affect adolescents during university years, engaging them in more career exploration. However, it can also occur before high school, except it would be about future study plans and worldview. So how does the brain work? According to Tottenham, a psychologist, early experiences contribute to the development of biological tools that process past and future experiences. Besides that, caring treatment centers, a rehabilitation place that this influence has the potential to change an adolescent's brain circuitry, putting them in danger of future substance usage. Furthermore, Wellborn, assistant professor, and his team said that there's greater activity shown in the mentalizing and self-control regions. Now, when too much parental influence can hinder an adolescent's developmental process. Caring treatment centers also said that when adolescents see their parents drinking to relieve their stress, they'll believe it's the right thing to do and will gradually model after their parents' actions. Not only that, adolescents face lots of pressure when parents place high expectations into their academic performances. However, there are also positive effects. According to Watson, a member of the Sparrow Adventure Therapy program, by providing a caring and accepting environment, adolescents will adopt the good traits, be more open-minded, and allow a seamless transition into adulthood. Furthermore, Kobeck, a university professor, said that open communication, positive engagement, and supervision can lead to overall better identity development. To conclude, social influence is especially important during adolescence, specifically peer pressure and parental influence, as both can lead to either a good or bad identity development. A limitation to this research may be that not all adolescents are exposed to the same experiences. Therefore, their social influences may vary. For example, society A may have more peer pressure, while society B may have more parental influence. Perhaps in the future, researchers of our generation can research more specifically about the different social influences in different geographic regions. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you all have a nice day.